Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is First Impressions Friday and I have a few different things to play with today. So last weekend my husband bought me the 36 Prismacolor Verathins and I have been using them alongside of the Prismacolor Premier pencils. And I have noticed that they are the same colors and the same numbers that they have in the Premiers. They're just really thin. Um, and they work really, really nicely. I haven't swatched them or done anything like that, so we might get to swatching on those at some point today. Another thing that I outright purchased myself, I had a coupon. These are different circle maker type rulers. This one is the high school one. And there's a different one for each um, stage of school. So this one is the high school one. It's got some ovals, it's got some triangles and hex, um, you know, rectangles. Brain work. And it has a little slide here so you can go, one, two, and make lines. This does turn so you can make the circles, all that fun stuff. I like the ovals on it, and I like the fact that I can move this up to make the lines. This also has um, a parabolic drawing groove, as well as some more line makers here, and that sort of thing. I like it. I like it a lot. It's very, very, very cool. I will be using these type of things for making circles and making ovals and drawing lines and stuff like that because I can't draw a straight line if somebody paid me to do it. This one here has some circles, some triangles, an oval, and a mm, I can always, I don't know why my brain does that. It just says, nope, not doing it. And this one has a quadratic functional slot, so it can do the uh, quadratic functions, which for a middle schooler is quite important. So it's got some triangles, some rectangles, some ovals, some circles, um, and a different type of triangle there, as well as the circle maker and the lines. All sorts of cool things. And the primary one has pretty much the exact same thing, but it has a square piece, a small rectangle instead of the curved um, additional thing here in the head. So it has this one, which is it doesn't say what it is, but it's got a bunch of hexagonal line drawing ability as well as the slide ruler, circles, and the triangles. So lots of fun stuff to work with. Mainly, I just thought they were really cool looking, and I had a coupon. So what can I say? Now for the gifts. Let's do this one first. This is the summer cutting garden. That was a gift from a fellow coloring YouTuber. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous book. I love the spring cutting garden painting book, and this is the summer cutting garden. Same artist, Christy Rice, that we worked with last month during watercolor month. Ooh, mushrooms. I found mushrooms. Very, very, very pretty book. Lots of different spring or summer flowers, where the previous one was spring flowers. Summer fruits and vegetables. Wonderful, wonderful hydrangea there, and cacti, and the little birds. Some great leaves. Some more flowers with bulbs. Um, Fuchsias. Love fuchsias. They're so pretty. Some more cacti. An entire little garden there. That's so pretty. I didn't realize you were so close up, so let's zoom you out a little bit. Here I am looking through the book, and you guys can't even see what I'm doing. It's got a little bird and some flowers. Just a really, really nice painting book. And I appreciate it so much. It's so pretty. And I thank you very much. You know who you are. I don't know if you want me to say who you are, but oh, this one's so cute. It's got baby bunnies. And a little lizard there. Nope, no lizard there. Love looking at these things because you find all sorts of things in them. They're so cool. But yes, a really, really, really nice book and a lovely gesture, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you once again for this wonderful gift. And again, it is the Summer Cutting Garden by Christy Rice. And as I said, last month we did a watercolor month and we colored in the Spring Cutting Garden, painted in the Spring Cutting Garden. So this one will be on the list for the future watercoloring. It's so pretty. So we'll put that up there. And this gift here, this wonderful person made a special envelope. It's absolutely fantastic. And then she made me a lovely card. And I'm going to take out the so it's a pretty. Life is beautiful. Enjoy every minute of today. Isn't that wonderful? And then she has some wonderful little stickers here. A little bus. Just absolutely adorable. So pretty. I think she did a wonderful, wonderful job on creating that wonderful card. And thank you so much because it's fantastic. And it's got a little doily here with that works as little pockets to hold these in. She did such a great job on it. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. And she took an envelope and prettied it up with all sorts of pretty things, which is just awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And the thing that she sent me is this wonderful set of macaron pencils. They are from Brazil. And I did swatch these. I couldn't wait. I'm sorry. And I didn't realize that the camera wasn't working, so the swatch is not recorded, but I will go through it. I'm keeping the swatch in the package, so I have cut it down so that it fits in the package. And we have all different wonderful colors. I'm going to switch you on over to the close-up camera. And turn on the light. There we go. We've got marshmallow, pipoca, pudim, croissant, and these are all in a different language. They're not in English. So I am not able to pronounce some of them, but this one here is tutti frutti, a muffin. I do believe this one's pink lemonade, cake pop, cupcake, sorbet, gelatina, macaron, confetti, donut. I do believe this one is lime mousse. And this one here is pistachio. I'm not sure what this one is. This one here says smoothie. Some wonderful, wonderful soft colors. There's 24 colors in the package, along with a 6B drawing pencil. So wonderful, wonderful set. It's called Tray Vibes. It's from Brazil. And we're going to actually do a couple of little tests with them, I think. Just because. Just because we can. So let's do some blending tests. So we've got some pinks here. So let's do the 3 pinks. So I've got 3 different pinks. They are named, so the names are on the pencils, and as well as the company name. They're just absolutely beautiful pencils. So let's start with our darkest color here. And they're really smooth. They're just so pretty. Make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just putting down a good heavy layer. Just going back and forth and getting that layer together. Leaving this little edge here for combination. I do have a feeling that they are oil-based, just by the way that they glide on the paper, and the fact that I do have to build that color up. Alright, so let's do the next one. And this one here is muffin. The first one was, I do believe it's lemonade pink. It's Lamada Rosa, so I do believe it's lemonade pink. I'm just going right into the lemonade there and building that color up. So pretty. This one here is Tutti Frutti. And we're going to go right into the muffin with it. And build that color up too. So it does do a very good job in blending with no interruption lines, which is awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Let's see what else can we do. Let's do a rainbow. So we've got a blue here and a yellow. And we'll grab this dark pink because there is no red. So we're going to use yellow, blue, and pink. And we're going to start with the yellow. No, we're going to start with the pink. So this one is the lemonade pink. Just going to build that color up nice and heavy. And because these are a macaron set, they are the lighter colors, so we're not going to get a red, green, orange, but we will get a pink, an orangey pink, like almost a peachy tone, and a green, light green tone with the blue. Just building that color up. I'm just going to go over it with the pink, finishing it off. And it definitely has changed. It's not as orange or peachy tone as I would expect it to be, but it does change a little bit. So let's try the blue into it. And it does change to a nice green. So they do blend together to create new colors, which is awesome. Let's add a little bit more yellow just to blend that all together. Sometimes when you're blending colors, it's better to do one color on top of another color and back and forth in order to get that blended color. To be the right level that you want it to be. But it's definitely showing pink, peach, yellow, green, and blue. And if I go a little bit further with the blue, we can probably get a nice pinky purple between the pink and the blue as well. Let's find out. I'm getting a nice purple there too. So definitely gets a good change of color there, which is awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at that under the main camera here so that we can see. So that's a lot better. You can definitely see the pink to the peach to the yellow, green, blue, purple. So they blend very, very, very nicely. Beautiful set of wonderful, wonderful pastel colored pencils. And to the wonderful person that sent these to me, I really do appreciate them. And I thank you so much. They are absolutely wonderful. So I am actually going to put these away. Now, yesterday we missed the final touches Thursday, and I was going to put a few different colors on the picture that we started on Wednesday. So because it's a fairly short day today, I didn't have a lot of testing to do with the vibes. And like I said, the Prisma Premiers are very much like the Prisma Verathins are very much like the Prisma Premiers. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually color with the Verathins a little bit more and the Premiers. So we're going to actually do what we were going to do yesterday. And we're going to do a little bit more work on this picture here. So I'm going to switch on over to the close-up and we will do some roses. And I've got the reds from the Verathins. Let's see if we can do it all with the Verathins. Let's find out. So we've got poppy, crimson, and magenta. So let's do this one down here. And I think I want to start with this one, which is poppy red as our lightest. And as you can tell, it's got a bit of an orange tint because that's what color poppies are. I don't want it the same color as this rose, so that's why I changed the colors up. And as you can see, the Verathin is very, very thin, so it's taking more movement to cover an area. And they're very hard pencils, so I would not want to press hard. They may cut into the paper, so I'm putting a fairly light touch on the pencil itself. And we'll just build up that color. This is just the base color, and I want to put a fairly thin coat of it down. And then we'll add further colors to it and then polish it off and make it all pretty. So to both of the wonderful, wonderful people that sent me Happy Mail, I appreciate it. And thank you very much. I know the person that sent me the vibes, had them sent to me, had them brought in from Brazil. So I appreciate that so much. You guys are all just so wonderful. Yesterday I had jury duty. What a waste of my time. Yeah, it was a waste of time. Now we're going to go in with the magenta. Yeah, they sent us home and said, oh yeah, well, we don't need you now. Like, okay, thanks. Alright, so I'm just adding the magenta into those shadowy areas. And I'm coming out from the shadow area because I'm going to be adding that crimson red right into that shadow area. And like I said, I have looked at them, and the Verathin numbers and names pretty much match up, and the colors pretty much match up to the Premiers. They're just a really thin version so that you can get into those detail areas. I like them for those detail areas. You can, of course, color completely with them as I'm showing here, but I prefer to use them for the deeper areas where I want to put in those extra bits of detail that the Premiers can't do. Another great thing they're fantastic for, as you saw, was for hair flicks and getting that thin detail into hair. Okay, so there we have our magenta. Now we're going to go in with the crimson red. And we're just going to fill in the deepest part of the shadow areas. detail in there as well. So yesterday was a stressful day for me because I don't like peopling, and I really don't like sitting in a windowless type of room for long periods of time. So I did not do any coloring yesterday. And it was a huge waste of my time, which stressed me out even more. Especially since it was a fairly nice day out, so I could have been doing so many other things. But, you know. Alright, so I've gone through and I've added that crimson red. Now we're going to go through and add the poppy red again. And put in a thicker layer of that poppy red. Blending all those colors together, getting all that white spot filled up. Like so. So as you can see, you can definitely color with the Verathins. They do color quite nicely. The one thing I will tell you about the Verathins is that because they are a smaller core, they are a little bit sharper. And I find that if I try to color too much with just them, um, my arm hurts a little. They're definitely not something I'd want to only use on a full picture, but I think they work very, very nicely for smaller details and can definitely work for a full picture if you need to. If it's the only pencil you have, then definitely is something that you can do, but it's multiple layers of back and forth getting that color to a point that you want it to be. I'm just going back in with the crimson a little bit here and filling in those edges. And just darkening up a couple of areas, knocking down a little bit of that orange tint. Just a little bit in some areas that we want a little bit darker in. I like the orange color, so, but I like having that little bit of difference between the colors. It looks really cool. Just going to add a bit of the magenta as well. I really like the way that looks. Trying to make sure I don't overdo it, because sometimes I like the way something looks and then I overdo it and suddenly it doesn't look as good. Alright, now we're just going to go back in with the poppy red again. And this will be the final coat. I'm just going to go over everything, blending everything together. I like the look of it. I think it's looking pretty good, guys. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do, let's take our brush and we'll brush that off. And we've got another rose up here. And I think we're going to do that in yellows. So I've got 3 different yellows here. And again, I'm doing this in the Verithin. And again, the tips of these are very, very, very skinny. So we're just going to have to layer it up. Unlike the Prisma Premiers where you can just smush it all together, these do require some layering. Because if you try to squish them all together, you will break your pencils and possibly cut into your page. So just going over everything with the lemon yellow, which is a fairly pale yellow. Doing a yellow rose for friendship. We've got the red rose for love. And I can't remember what the orange is for, but not too many orange roses out there. But it's more of a poppy red, so it's not as deep of a red. But it's still a red rose, I guess. I like having different colors of flowers in my garden. Don't like them all being the same. Now we're going to go through with canary yellow into our deeper areas, covering up some of those shadow areas, extending it out a little bit. Making sure that we get all of those contrasts in there. Basically what the deeper colors do is give depth to a picture. You can just leave the gray in the grayscale, but if you have a darker color and you go over the grayscale with a darker color out of the same color family, it does add a little bit more depth. That's the way I find anyway. So I want to at least get the roses done and that sort of thing here. We've got this flower here as well, and a rosebud here. But if we can get these flowers done, then at least tomorrow we won't have a whole bunch to do before picking a new picture. Because tomorrow we're supposed to pick a new picture. So as you can see, the Verithins do perform quite nicely. Even just on their own. I do find that they work better in unison with the Prisma Premiers. because like I said, these are really, really short or sharp. They're very thin, obviously, since that's their name. Um, very thin core, and it does take a lot more work compared to the Prisma Premiers to get your color saturation that you want. So I'm going through with Spanish Orange in the deepest shadow areas. And we'll drag that out a little. Spanish Orange is a nice dark yellow bordering the orange family, but just has a touch, just a slight touch of that red in it that gives it that good dark color in comparison to the yellow. Okay, I think we've got the majority of our dark colors in here. So make sure that I get all of the areas. And then we're going to take our lemon yellow again. We're just going to go over everything. Make sure I'm using the right pencil. It's just my luck. Now with a picture this small, it's a lot easier to color with just these pencils than it would be if it was a much larger um, open spaced picture. This is a fairly small picture that has a lot of little details, so getting into those little areas is perfectly fine for the very thins. But if I was doing like this entire background area or something, definitely would think twice about doing it with the Verithins. But as a small detail pencil, they work really, really nicely. Alright, so now we're going to do this one here. So I'm going to take some pinks and what's this color? No, that's poppy. I don't want poppy. Alright, we'll do it with this one. I think, yeah. Alright, so I've got some Dahlia purple here. Now I'm going to put down a little bit of this purple first because I want the pink to wash it out, because I don't have a dark pink in the Verithins. So because I don't have that dark pink like I did over here on the other side, I'm just going to wash it out with the lighter pink colors by putting in a red purple. Like I said, I'm only using the Verathins for these flowers. I'm not going to use the Premiers. So we're going to see what kind of ability they do have in creating new colors or blending together to create those colors. Okay, so now we're going to go in with Deco Pink. And we're going to go right over top of that purple color. It's not blending out as well as I would like. Let's get that a brush off. And we'll use light peach. See if we can blend some of that out into the edges there. So they don't seem to blend very well, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll take a bit of magenta. That'll work it out. The magenta seems to be working a little bit better to get that to spread a bit. Probably what I should have used instead of the purple, but that's okay. That's the joys of experimenting. We find what works and what doesn't. And in the end, it all looks beautiful. So, can't say what kind of flowers these are, but with the colors that I've given them. But now they're a hybrid, so it's okay. Like I said, it all works out in the end. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put in the pink. And then we'll come back through and put in the reds and peach tones as well as the yellows for the centers of the flowers. And then of course we will go through and blend it a little bit more with the pink. But the Verathins do work very nicely to create that detailed area. And I have used them and been using them with the Premiers, and they work really nicely in unison with them, so which is awesome to find something that will get into those smaller details that the Premiers don't do as well with because they squish too much. The Premiers are a very squishy, squishy pencil, which is great for blending, but not so good for getting into some tight situations. I have a feeling there's a felt like there was something in my pencil. hate that. It's usually in red pencils or green pencils that I get that scratchy. It seems to be gone now, so. And probably just a little tiny piece of something in it. Could even be from me sharpening it. Alright, now I'm going in with that peach again, the light peach. I'm going to put a bit of the red in here. I'm just going to do the edges. I'm going to leave the bottom areas for the pink. With the edges of the flowers up here, we're going to do that peachy tone. Like that. Alright, now we're going to go over it again with the pink. Blending all those colors together. And they do blend fairly well. To a point where you can, not have any massively harsh lines. But like I said, they are a harder pencil, so you can end up putting too much pressure on your pencil, creating a much harder line that won't blend out. And they do work quite differently than the Premiers. They do need a bit more finessing, a little bit more layering. And like I said, if I was having to do a large area in them, I would definitely rethink it because they are not an easy one to layer in the sense of large areas. However, if you were just doing one color in a large area, it might be something that you could work out. But so I just put in some yellow, and then I'm adding a little bit of pale vermilion for the seed pollen areas. And there we have our plants. So we've got all our flowers done. I will save the rest of it for tomorrow. And the Verathins did quite nicely. I'm going to switch you over to the main camera so you can see. As you can see, the Verathins did just as well as the Prisma Premiers. They are a little bit darker, and I did use the wrong color. If I put some purple in there, it'd look about the same. But I think they did just as well, if not the same, as the Prisma Premiers. I just find that they do press into the page a little bit more. There's definitely a little bit more pressure being used to lay down the color. Like I said, if I had to do this whole area here, in just the Verathins, I would definitely rethink it because they are, like I said, a bit of a harder pencil, giving you a little bit more of a workout. All right, guys. Other than that, I want to say thank you very much to the two wonderful ladies that sent me the gifts this month, as well as my husband, who purchased the Verathins for me. So one of the gifts that I have received this week is the Tray Vibes, Trees Vibes. I'm probably horribly mispronouncing that. They are a Brazilian pencil brought to the United States and sent to me from a absolutely wonderful person who has created a wonderful card for me as well. These were, they're a macaron coloring palette, which is fantastic. She did make me a wonderful card as well, which is just absolutely adorable. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love handmade things. They are just so fantastic. And the wonderful, wonderful person that sent me the summer cutting garden. I appreciate you both very, very much. I like the cutting gardens. I think they're just so pretty. And I can actually paint them. So, I can actually use watercolor on them and have them look half decent. So that makes me happy. Of course, the other thing that I did buy, I did have a coupon for these, so they weren't very expensive, but it gives me a lot of different abilities to do circles and ovals and things like that. And it teaches me how to draw a little bit in the third dimension. So that is all of our First Impressions Friday stuff. My first impressions of the Prisma Verathins are that they work very, very nicely in conjunction or in unison with the Prisma Premier. The vibes are very pretty. They're very, very vibrant pastel tones. They do blend together very, very nicely. I didn't do any water testing or anything like that on them because I'm not going to be using them with water. So I'm not too worried about that. I am going to keep them in the package for now, and that's why I've cut the swatch chart to the package size. Because I have run out of things to put them in. But they're absolutely lovely, lovely pencils. They lay down very, very nicely. They do feel like an oil-based pencil. They do require a little bit of layering to build that color up. Of course, everything is not in a language I read or speak, so I can't tell you what kind of pencils they are, but they're absolutely lovely. The testing of the Verathins on these three flowers here has told me that they do work very well in coloring books. Again, I will reiterate, I would not use these for a large surface. Small things, definitely. Something that is worth utilizing them for. In assistance to softer pencils where you need to get into some deep areas like these areas, I would definitely suggest them for. To color, say, this sort of thing where it's a large areas, I would not suggest it because they are a much harder pencil. They are harder on the arm as well as the hands and that sort of thing. They do blend together as a hold on a second, just looking for my blending pencil. As a standalone, blend them with the pencils. And I'm just going to use this blending pencil, see if I can blend them that way. And they do blend quite nicely with the blending pencil. I'm using the Derwent blending pencil, and they do blend very nicely and smooth out very nicely with it. Now we'll use uh, this is the Caran d'Ache, and it also blends them quite nicely. So even with a blending pencil, that flattens them out quite nice. So blends them out into those white spot areas quite nicely. And brings those colors together really nice with the Caran d'Ache. So yeah, the colors move very nicely with the Caran d'Ache blender. Very, very cool. Don't mind me, I'm fascinated. So yes, they work very lovely on their own for small things, or together with another colored pencil for larger areas. Turn off this light so you can actually see how well they did. So that is my final impressions of the Prismacolor Verathins. Is they are a very lovely pencil. They are a color match and color number and color name match to the Prismacolor Premiers. However, I would not use them on their own. I would definitely use them with another set of pencils. They are very thin, as their name explains, and they are fantastic for getting into those small areas. They do work very nicely. And if necessary, yes, you could color with them on their own. However, I wouldn't suggest it. Just my thinking on it, I just coloring those three flowers has made my arm a little stiff. So if you have arthritis or anything like that, I would definitely think that those may cause you some pain. First impressions of these wonderful Tray Vibes, they are beautiful. They blend beautifully together. They do feel like an oil-based pencil to me, so they do require some building up in color, but the colors are beautiful and they are so soft and so smooth. All right, guys, that is it for today. Tomorrow we will finish this off and pick our next picture for the next upcoming week, as well as have another giveaway. So I hope you join us live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another coloring in Monya Gates' Color My Dreams coloring books. All right, guys, until then, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Be kind to one another. Like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you watch. I will see you again very soon. Until then, bye-bye for now.